on project updates.
Thank you. Too many meetings tonight. So, project update for tonight. Glad to be here. I do want to introduce, well, he's not in the room, but we have hired a project manager for the engineering department. It's an internal promotion of Zach Burge from building inspector to a project manager. So you may see him around on some of the projects, including some of the park projects, as we're getting him up to speed. I did want to update you on one thing. I mentioned this briefly maybe a couple of meetings back. And if I can have the Elmo here, this is, I mentioned the Chadwick Ditch project. So we have this common area at the north end of Chadwick, and you can see where they're building the pond for Angeli Gardens. This common area here has always been kind of had a drainage dish surrounding it, and we're trying to look at rethinking that drainage dish because it doesn't drain very well, holds water. I mentioned this before. We're working with our consultants. We're working with the Corps of Engineers to develop a plan that would essentially turn that into a more naturalized area, replace the ditch with a meandering creek. And but I believe I bring this up tonight because I believe that area is mowed by the Parks Department. So just wanted to let you know what's possibly happening there and changes that may come. But that project right now is not even permitted or funded at this point, so it will take a little bit longer before we're moving that forward. But I want to update you on that. Other projects around the city, our Fordyce Road project continues. Lots of construction going on over there, but we are working our way towards paving and getting the road open. The trail that you're probably most concerned with, the trail connection from East Street out to the new Central Elementary, may be done this year, but that's going to be weather permitting. I think more likely we'll probably hold the trail off for spring of next year construction. But we're continuing to work through the project and work with the weather. Right now, we're pouring curbs and driveways. We finished up storm sewer, and we're scheduled to start paving in a couple of weeks. So we'll just continue to push that as much as we can and see what the weather provides. Whit Road, another trail project. Nothing really to update you on there. We're still working our way through preliminary utility relocation plans and environmental studies. Noble Street. Another project will include extending paths from the East Street Big Four Trail over to Hop Pond and then back down into the Conservation Club Pond. That project, though, is not slated for construction until 2029. And again, we're just now in the early processes where we've had our contracts approved by NDOT, and we're getting ready to kick off that meeting with our consultants. Active living programs, the signs are all in. We're working through some issues we've had with NDOT on that. So you may see some of those signs get adjusted in locations, but we're working through that project. The Stone Eater Bike Park, as you all are aware, the park is open. Happy to report that. We had a great grand opening weekend on October 25th, 6th and 7th. It was a great event for the opening ceremonies there on Friday, but then a great event on Saturday and Sunday with our partners at NICA, and our first youth mountain bike race was held there. Next step is really, we're just working through the operational issues that inevitably come up as we're trying to shake down a new park. And Billy Smith and his crew have been great on helping us get through those issues. But we'll continue to work through those and figure out the best ways to operate the park, as well as in our continued IDEM reporting and monitoring that will be required. The old street department garage. Really, at this point, we're just trying to wrap up sort of community input gathering. Our consultants have attended the Lebanon Webo high school football game. They've attended Mischief on Meridian. We got a lot of great input from the public at those meetings. And not to mention, we've had a huge response on the community surveys. There's still time to take those, and then we'll be moving into stakeholder meetings, meeting with specified groups of people in various sectors of business and community needs as we begin to round out what the public wants to see at the park. Pickleball court reconstruction. We did open bids on the 28th. Our low bid was submitted by Globe Paving at $529,000. There is a change order, or not a change order, there is a I guess, a deduct alternate that could drop that total down to $494,000. If you remember, our estimate was $477,000. So we're working through that and what the implications might be to our food and beverage grant that was awarded for the construction of that. Keep in mind, construction won't happen until July of 25, or be completed till July of 25. The fishing pier, we've really wrapped up the fishing pier work. We did have some minor vandalism to one of the railings, but John has been working with the pier constructors, and they're going to come out and fix those for us free of charge. We've also poured the ramp for ADA access to the fishing pier, and we are working on getting quotes for the required railings for the ADA ramp. Let's see. Next few projects are really these portalet enclosure installations that are going in throughout town. We've got one at the Big Four Trailhead behind Menards. The concrete has been poured. Fencing is scheduled to be installed in the next 2 weeks or so. Parking improvements are now also under contract with Midwest Paving, but that is a spring construction. Reese Park improvements, met with the portalet enclosure contractors today. The concrete pads are complete. The fencing material is in, and that fencing is scheduled to go in the next 2 weeks. That will include the portalet enclosure fencing as well as the fencing adjacent to the parking to help corral some of the kids and soccer balls that come flying out of the area. There are two more at the Abner Longley Park Dog Park and the Hot Pond. Again, those are going on existing asphalt pads, so there's no new pads have been poured, but fencing is scheduled to be installed in the next 2 weeks. Let's see. We're also working on preparing an invitation to quote on some additional path at Abner Longley Park, beginning to extend that path around the perimeter of the park and take advantage of some of the American Rescue Plan money that has been allocated there. And with that, really, that's all the updates I have on park-related projects at this time.
About the work at Anderson Lane.
Yes, thank you. The work at Anderson Lane is nearing completion. We've got reflective delineators to go on the islands and the curb that separates the bike trail from the street, as well as then new street lighting that's also going in the next couple of days. So.
Last month, I asked you some clarification questions about the path, and you explained it to me, but I didn't understand, to be honest with you. One of my questions is, and I'm glad for the whole thing, so please don't take my questions as being criticism.
No, you're fine.
I'm just trying to understand, because I've used it a couple times on my bike. The curbing that is like the short curbing that goes north and south, like if you funnel in that real narrow area there on the east end, and you funnel in, you immediately come across another curb that goes north and south. So you have to make sure you hit that.
You're coming in on the drainage curb on.
Yeah, help me understand what is that all about?
It's
kind of dangerous.
That's a good point, because you really aren't supposed to come in that way. I know that might be hard to. It might be hard to picture, because they also did improperly painted that area green, and it needs to be painted over black because it shouldn't have been. But essentially, the path is to turn 90 degrees and go south there along the sidewalks on Elm Swamp Road, and not to turn north. Eventually, we'd love to send a path north up to Auburn Meadows and beyond. But right now, we just don't have any right-of-way available to do that. But I'll look closer at that, see what we need to do to better delineate that the path ends.
Yes, that would be really helpful.
Yeah.
It's kind of dangerous as it is.
Okay. Yeah. Appreciate that. I hadn't, you see things one way and you don't see the other perspective, that somebody might be coming down, coming south on Elm Swamp and see that as an entry. So we'll have to delineate that better. We'll do that.
That would be good. All right. Thanks.
Anything else?
Kevin, on the pickleball courts, is that quote just for
that is
Memorial?
To redo all the pickleball and tennis courts at Memorial Park and Abner Longley Park.
Okay.
Say redo. I know a few months ago we had asked for an itemized list instead of a wholesale to see what, the nets aren't old, fencing, lighting.
Mm-hmm.
Did we ever get an itemized list and I just don't remember, or?
I have not given you that itemized list. Now that we have been done, I can get those schedule of values out to you.
Assuming it's a brand new nets, lighting, it's the whole shebang, not itemized?
It's everything. The only thing would be is at Memorial Park, it's new lighting. At Abner Longley Park, it's painting the old lighting. But everything else, new fencing, new playing surface, new asphalt, new nets are all included. It's basically a one-for-one removal and replacement. There is some size adjustments to take advantage of, I guess, the current standards on buffer areas around courts, but essentially they're going back in at the same relative size.
Same exact location.
Same exact location. And they'll do one at a time, so we will not be without pickleball courts at any point.
The only other thing I have is I want to congratulate you on a successful opening of the bike park. I know it's been 5 years of hard work, and it was really a great opening. I thought I was overwhelmed at the number of bikes that came in on Friday.
Yeah, it was crazy. I think over the weekend too, I know at one point I counted 120 cars parked there. I don't know how many bikes that was, but most had more than one bike on the car. So
I went back out there one evening during the week and just to see what it looked like without, all the craziness. And there were, I think, 3 cars there.
Yeah.
And one family I had a conversation with, because I waited till I watched them as they were going through as a mom and dad, and looked like their middle school age son. And I asked them, I introduced myself and asked them how they enjoyed it. And they said they loved it. They're from Whitestown area, and they normally go to Bloomington.
really,
To do that kind of trail. So they were really excited to have something like that in closer proximity.
Yeah, that's the kind of reports I love to hear. I got reports from friends that they were there over the weekend, and there were 15 cars, and it seemed like most of them were families and little kids on Strider bikes and parents helping their toddlers out on trainee wheels. So that's exactly what we want to see. It's great. It's really an all ages, all abilities facility, and so we're excited to see more of that.
One thing I had a question for you. I should probably already know the answer to this, but I was unclear with the popularity of e-bikes.
Yeah.
Are they welcomed there or not?
What is welcome there is Class 1 e-assist bikes. So those are pedal assist bikes, and that's a standard. Class 1 bike is a standard that most cities are adhering to, and so that means you can't have an electric bike with a throttle on it. It's got to be only the bikes that assist you in pedaling. And that's really an accommodation, like an ADA accommodation that we make.
Okay. So. All right. That makes sense. All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay, next item under new business, we have Cheyenne Christ and Amy Bigler on the Rolling Meadows Park.
Good evening, Lebanon Parks Board and community. My name is Cheyenne Christ, and I am here today to speak to you regarding our cherished Rolling Meadows Kiddie Park that unfortunately stands neglected and is in desperate need of renovations. According to the National Recreation and Park Associations, parks play a crucial role in the health and well-being of communities. Parks not only provide a space for residents to engage in physical activity, but they also work to foster community cohesion. Sadly, Rolling Meadows Kiddie Park no longer stands up to this ideal, and its decline is disservice to our neighborhood and community. In 1998, my mother built our home in Rolling Meadows subdivision. This is where I made many memories. Some of those memories include sitting on a swing set at the kiddie park watching my brother and all the neighborhood boys play tackle football, playing on the merry-go-round until either one of us got sick or one of us fell off, joking around about how silly the bouncy animals were, but still playing on them even though we looked ridiculous. Sliding down the metal slide even when it was so hot that it could literally burn you if you sat long enough. And of course, playing on the teeter-totters. Those memories are part of why I chose to raise my family here. I want my son and future children to build their memories in the same playground that helped shape who I am today. In 2018, I purchased my first home, and of course, I chose the house right across the street from my parents because I knew the neighborhood and wanted a safe place for my son to grow up. I never really realized how bad the kiddie park got until I got older and had my son and tried taking him there. The kiddie park used to have a decent number of things to play on, and now that's all left standing is a grill, a slide, a swing set, and a stake sticking out of the ground where the merry-go-round once was. I have gathered not only my neighbors, but the people of Lebanon to sign a petition, which I have brought with me, that all agree that this Lebanon Park needs to be saved, not just turned into a green space like the 5-year master plan stated on April 5th, 2017. Some may argue the fact that there's no parking, poor lighting, or vandalism. Well, I say this. There is street parking with access to the park via the sidewalk. Poor lighting, of course, but so does many other parks and our neighborhood and places in Lebanon. But if Lebanon revitalizes this park, they could always add more lighting. And as far as vandalism, all parks also have this. Honestly, the park hasn't had much vandalism, only normal wear and tear. What we as a neighborhood would like to see this park become is a safe place for families to gather, have fun at, just like all the other Lebanon parks. Items to have at the park would include a newer playground, shelter area with picnic table, park bench, maybe soccer goals, and some small area for a basketball goal. I have also created a poster board, which is in front of me, on how the park currently looks, along with ideas of what could be. We understand that the Parks Department and City of Lebanon would need time to fix this up and raise the money, but although this park is small, it has a mighty impact on all of our children's lives. The City of Lebanon should recognize the importance of community parks. We urge the Lebanon Parks and Recreational Department to invest in renovations for Rolling Meadows Kiddie Park. It is not just about refurbishing a playground, it's about preserving cherished communal spaces, contributing to the public health, and enhancing the quality of life for Lebanon residents. Let's help future generations build beautiful memories as we all once did. Thank you for taking time to listen.
Billy, do you want to respond about removing of the equipment, or do you want me to? Okay. Okay. What we have done is, as the equipment is damaged or broken, we've removed it, and that's due to safety reasons. Plus, we can no longer get parts for any of that equipment. And we plan to continue to remove, like you said, the slide. We can't even buy slides like that. We're not even supposed to have them. So, those eventually will have to come out. Everything that's been taken out, it's been taken out because it's old. It doesn't last very long. It's old and we can't repair it. And there's the danger level. And none of the equipment in that park is up to standards right now because equipment ages. And we run into that in our other parks. I mean, we're in the process now of trying to replace some of the playground equipment in the park because we can no longer repair it, and there's a safety issue with it. As far as replacing things in the park, we would have to discuss that because the monies right now are designated for the public parks because, that's a subdivision park, and all the monies right now are out there for replacement of things in our public park. And we just even had a club, the Kiwanis Club bought playground equipment for Abner Longley because we were having to take that out because we can no longer repair it, and there's a safety issue. Things that you're asking for, they're very, very, very expensive. I was even shocked when I saw the cost of playground equipment. I don't know what to tell you because we don't have any money right now where we could replace things. And like I said, what you're wanting to do is costly. I had talked about an HOA and obviously you don't have an HOA to help with the park. So I can't give you an answer. I'm telling you why the equipment has been being removed. Years ago, it was in the master plan for the city that every developer had to designate land for a park. In the development, that no longer happens anymore, and that's one of the few that I know of that we even have.
She mentioned about a stake sticking up. If that is still there, maybe.
Where the merry-go-round was. You want to come up there, Billy, because they can't hear you.
We've tried to find the bearing to fix that. And everybody that has one, you've got to buy the merry-go-round. They don't want to get away from any of that. They want you to buy the $8,000, $9,000 merry-go-round to replace it. Okay, that's the only way you can fix it. Unfortunately, eventually the one Memorial is going to do it. And we're going to we'll be in the same process. I do apologize for not getting out there and digging that thing out, but that is I think it's a 6x6 concrete pad that's underneath there that holds that, okay? Because they have to be big enough to support the weight of that merry-go-round. Now, I do apologize for that, but that's that. But
So is it a dangerous stake sticking up there right
it had a
now?
cone on it for years, but they kept stealing the cone, and we haven't been out there. That is the park's fault. I will take full responsibility for that, but we can be out there at the end of the week, probably Friday, we'll go out there and we can take that thing right out, that stake right out. We were just trying to, and hoping that we could find the parts to fix it, and we haven't really. Everybody I called that makes bearings, no such animal. That's what they tell me. And the people that had the playground equipment, yeah, we can get you one if you want to buy the merry-go-round. That's just how it's done.
All or nothing kind of
Yeah.
thing.
And I nothing I can do about that, I'm sorry.
Oh, I wish I could give you an answer, but right now, I don't know. Okay.
If you were giving me, how long has the park been, quote, neglected? I know those are your words, but we'll use them.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
How long has the park been neglected?
How long has it been neglected? I mean, I played there when I was younger. I'm only 27, so I would say for sure maybe the last like 8 years, it's really been gone downhill since then. Because I played there even when I was a teenager, just watching people play tackle football and that kind of thing.
We were to look for, say, the bare minimum, meaning that you could put together a list of what you think the bare minimum would turn it back into a park. Could you put together a list like that?
Yeah, I actually have a friend that her and her husband own a company that does playground equipment, and she unfortunately couldn't be here today, but she told me that she would be more than willing to talk to us and get something put together just so that way we can bring an itemized list or something here.
We've already done projects in the past, and we've accepted them from Eagle Scouts. So I'd say let's give an opportunity if she can. She's got contacts, she's got resources. If they've just got green space and she can build up a funding source, a method, grants, people can help with that. I don't see any reason why we can't let someone from the community actually try to do something with it.
That's why I had asked about the HOA. I agree. If you can come up, that's the problem right now is funding.
Yeah, who does grants, I guess, like around here? Where do you typically?
Talk to me after the meeting.
Okay. All right. That's all I really had.
Thank you
so.
very much.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate your concern.
Okay, Billy, director's report.
I see all you people again today. We've had an extremely busy October. Office and maintenance staff spent a lot of time preparing for the grand opening of Stone Eater Bike Park. We want to thank Kevin Krulik for an outstanding job seeing this project through 5 years of planning and overcoming many, many obstacles to bring this great amenity to the community. We want to also shout out to Joe LePage, DPW Planning Department, many volunteers for all their time and labor. Ongoing maintenance has installed a couple of memorial benches and cleaned up many branches and a few trees from the last few storms. We have finished installation of the disc golf course, removal of the Abner Longley Playground, and finished painting the softball building. The installation of the new playground at Abner should be set up in the next couple of weeks. We are also finishing up on fertilizing all properties, removing annuals from flower beds, and working on moving the mowing and mulching leaves. We hope to plant several memorial trees next week. We have winterization of both pool vessels and splash pad are completed. We are prepping and installing all our Christmas displays. DPW took down banners downtown, and utility is going to help us install the Christmas pole displays downtown next Friday. Along with the pole displays, we are also installing the 25-foot Christmas tree. Lights will be turned on Thanksgiving evening. Our 2024 Pumpkins in the Park was a great hit. We lucked out with sunshine, which brought a great crowd this year. We had an inflatable corn maze, and families really seemed to enjoy the extra feature. Again, we would like to give a big thanks to John Lastly, Outdoor Solutions, for providing all the pumpkins, Lebanon IGA for helping with the s'mores supplies, Timmons Feed and Farm Supply for allowing us to borrow straw, the Refuge Coffee for serving delicious drinks. We also look forward to seeing everyone next year. Today, November 6th, the Lebanon Buffalo Wings will be donating 10% of their food sales back to the Lebanon Parks Department. We are very grateful for this opportunity. This Friday, November 8th, the Witham Family YMCA will be hosting their Veterans Drive-Through Lunch at Memorial Park. Come anytime between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. for a free hot lunch. Our 2024 Christmas in the Cabin and Christmas Parade will take place on Saturday, December 7th. Come anytime between 9:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. to visit with Santa, enjoy cookies and hot chocolate, and make a craft. The Christmas Parade will start at 6 p.m. Carriage rides filled up extremely fast again this year, so they are all sold out. We love being able to provide this opportunity to the city of Lebanon for free. Thank you to our carriage sponsors, Home National Bank, Lebanon Parks Foundation, and First Farmers Bank and Trusts. That's pretty much it. Any questions?
Thank you.
Question on this. How, and I know we've talked about it before, how does someone get added to the list? Because the agenda that was sent in the email doesn't match the agenda that I have in front of me.
No, they added the new business on. I believe the agenda went out before you contacted them, and then they contact the park office.
So there's no limit on when to get on the new agenda.
There is a deadline. I'm not sure what it is.
We contacted on Friday.
And it,
Talked to John and Taylor.
Uh-huh.
Taylor was like, let me verify that I can add you guys on.
because I think Friday is the deadline probably. And so she probably just went ahead and did that. It probably went out before they were added on is what I understood.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also wanted to clarify something.
Yes, please.
Sorry, I also wanted to clarify. One of the things that you had said just kind of hit me a little bit. You had said that it's a subdivision park. I do want to clarify that it is a Lebanon-owned city park, and it states that in the deed.
Right, correct. It is a Lebanon city-owned park. The developer designated that in each subdivision, what they have asked the builder to do. But no, it doesn't belong to you. It belongs
Yeah.
to the city.
Yeah, I just
No.
wanted to clarify that.
No,
so.
it does. It belongs to the city.
I think you were trying to say that it was intended for use by that neighborhood.
Yeah,
The
that's
folks that live in that subdivision where the other parks are for all public. Not that somebody couldn't use
Yeah.
it.
No.
Yeah, because there's walkways and all that.
But they
so.
were designated for those developments there when that was done. So, but no, it is a city park. No. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? If everybody's had a chance to look at the claims, I'd entertain a motion to approve the claims.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? And if there's no other business to come before the board this evening, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you for joining us this evening.